March has been a good month for fragrance releases, right? So around about mid-month or so, there seemed to have been an explosion when it comes to new fragrance releases, right? So this is going to be part one of two, in terms of wrapping up the month of March from a new fragrance perspective, right? So on this list, a couple of fragrances from YSL, Montale, Viktor Rolf, Davidoff, etc. Right? So to start things off from the YSL line, you've got Jumpsuit Vibrant Magnolia, right? So this is from that special line of YSL fragrances with the tall square bottle, the tuxedo type of bottle, as you can see, right? So there's a couple of them here. So the first one is Jumpsuit Vibrant Magnolia. As the name says, Magnolia as the key note here. So we've got bergamot, magnolia, spicy notes, and then peppery essence, right? So it's magnolia, a bit of freshness of the bergamot with essentially a spicy element around it, right? So very interesting. I'm not very familiar with the jumpsuit variant of this line, but yeah, a great one. Of course, the price is always a bit steep, but the quality you get is definitely what you pay for, right? Then the next one is Cuir Sublime Oud, right? As the name said, this is an oud based fragrance. So leather at the top, violet in the middle, and then oud in the base. So it's a deep dark with a little bit of a flowery element there, but essentially it's a leathery oud fragrance, right? So that's Cuir Sublime Oud, right? The next one is YSL Gold Supreme Bouquet, right? And as the word bouquet, stands for flowers galore. So you've got ylang ylang, tuberose, jasmine, zambac, and then honeyed nectar. So it's flowers with a bit of a sweet honey tint to them, right? So very, very flowery. So Gold Supreme Bouquet from YSL, right? The next one, Tuxedo, one of my favorite, right? That patchouli based fragrance, one of the best of all time, right? So top notes here, first of all, it's Tuxedo Sharp Patchouli, right? So it's sharp patchouli. It's usually just tuxedo. This one, it's tuxedo sharp patchouli, right? And then top notes here, violet leaf, coriander, bergamot. And then the mid, you've got rose, black pepper, lily of the valley. And then the base, you've got that patchouli, ambergris, and bourbon vanilla, right? So very sweet patchouli, and then very flowery, spicy towards the top, right? So very interesting mix here. Would like to know how much it differs from the original tuxedo, right? But that's something for later on, right? And then the next one is Blouse Impertinent Rose, right? Yeah, Blouse Impertinent Rose, right? So the range is Blouse, and then the variant is Impertinent Rose of this YSL line, right? So this one, simple, straightforward, bergamot, angelica, musk. No rose for some reason, unless if I missed the rose, right? But if I've missed it, I'll put it down here, right? And then the last but not least from this huge release from this YSL line, Babycat Raw Bourbon, right? So top notes, black pepper, pink pepper, so spicy elements up top. Mid, you've got saffron, resins, and olibanum, so that tarty saffron type of feel there. And then you've got vanilla, suede, and cedarwood, right? So I think the vanilla is the one that brings to the bourbon here, because I don't see any bourbon anything here, but I think the bourbon is from that bourbon vanilla note here, but something like that, right? So yeah, that's the 6 from the YSL Tuxedo line. No, not YSL Tuxedo, the YSL special range line. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, the tall slim bottle line, right? And then the next one from Viktor Rolf, Metallic Musk, right? So Viktor Rolf has been pushing things pretty different from the usual spicy, spice bomb, extreme, etc., night vision. So they're pushing, a bit, trying different things. That's all I can say, right? So the last one was dark leather. Viktor Rolf dark leather was the last fragrance they released on this line. And this one, metallic musk, top notes of bergamot, black pepper, elemi, aldehydes, and then cinnamon, clove pepper, lavender in the mid, and then you've got leather, accord, and musk in the base, right? So yeah, very interesting. I thought it would be more of a light, aquatic, sea salty, based on what the bottle looked like at first. Because the bottle, when I first looked at it, looked a bit bluey, but I guess, you know, they were going for something different here. So yeah, Viktor Rolf, metallic musk, right? The next one from the house of Tommy Hilfiger, the Impact line, which has sort of revived their fragrance you know, line, I would say, you know. So this one, Impact Parfum, right? You've got Impact, the EDT, the EDP, you've got Together, and now you've got Impact Parfum, right? And then here, simple note breakdown, top of Elemi, made of oud, and then vanilla and suede in the base, right? So yeah, definitely going for something Impact, the Elemi and the oud, and then with the sweetness of the vanilla with that suede. Very interesting, but definitely a line of fragrances I'm definitely going to be getting into because it's fairly reasonably priced, I must say. Very reasonably priced, so I'll definitely have a look at it, right? And then the next one from the house of Davidoff, also a line of fragrances that I've collected quite a lot of variants of this Davidoff Cool. I've got the Cool Waters, the original, the Parfum. I don't have the Intense, but yeah, it's a very nice line, you know, all-time great, you know, aquatic type of fragrance right there, right? And then this one is Davidoff Cool Elixir. Like, everyone has jumped onto the Elixir train. Davidoff Cool, why not? Cool Elixir, right? Simple note breakdown, lavender at the top, rose in the mid, and then oud in the base, right? So I think they're going for that Middle Eastern oud rose type of vibe here, right? That's just my take, because I don't think between the rose and the oud, the lavender at the top will really feature much. So definitely looking forward to that. It's definitely going to be well priced. It's usually very well priced, so I'll definitely get my hands on one, right? The next one from the house of Montale, very well known for their primarily oud based fragrances, and this one is Oud Sapparot, right? So Oud Sapparot, you've got birch, cinnamon, coconut, leather, musk, oud, pineapple, saffron, and vanilla. So yeah, very interesting mix here. Very fruity, sweet oud. That's all I can say. Sweet, fruity, coconutty, leather. It's a mixed bag, right? Very interesting what this would smell like, because it gives me, I get a couple of different vibes. I'm just looking at the notes here. So that's from the house of Montale, Oud Sapparot, right? And then the next one is celebrity fragrance, you know, from a footballer, Cristiano Ronaldo Legacy EDP, right? There's the Legacy Original, now there's the Legacy EDP, right? Top note, cinnamon, lavender, apple, and then the middle notes, we've got sage, cedarwood, rosemary, and then the base, we've got ambergris, blonde woods, and patchouli. I've never seen a note such as blonde woods before, but hey, there's always a first for everything. So blonde woods is a base note, right? So I don't think I've ever sampled any of these, but they're very well priced, usually just priced to go. But I think they are trying to increase the level of quality, because you can even see from the packaging that they're sort of pushing it a bit, you know, making it a bit more upmarket in a way, right? So very, very interesting, right? And then the next one from a celebrity YouTube fragrance influencer, right? So the guy's name escapes me, but his channel is called Aromatix, right? So he's got a collaboration here with French Avenue for this Xandal Aromatix by French Avenue, right? So very, very interesting, man. This is a dream to be a YouTuber and be able to push your own fragrance out there in collaboration with a, you know, a very decent fragrance house that's actually doing quite well. So Fragrance World owns French Avenue. So French Avenue is the more luxury, more upmarket, more well put together, you know, brand that they're putting. So the collaboration is with Aromatix and French Avenue, and the fragrance is called Xandal, right? So when I looked at the notes first, I thought I was not seeing what I'm seeing, right? But because I kept seeing the same note over and over again, right? So it's the note of vanilla, right? So the top is vanilla, Madagascan vanilla and bourbon vanilla. as well as vanilla caviar. I have no idea what vanilla caviar is, but I suspect it's those seeds from the vanilla pod, right? So vanilla caviar. So top notes: vanilla, Madagascan vanilla, bourbon vanilla, vanilla caviar, right? That's just the top, right? So vanilla, 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 right? Then the mid, you've got rum, jasmine, and vanilla, right? This vanilla does not have a surname, does not have first name, it's just the usual vanilla, right? And then the base, you've got vanilla absolute, caramel, and tonka bean, right? So my conclusion on this fragrance is just a whole lot of vanilla-y caramel sweetness, right? That's all you're gonna get here. A bit boozy with the rum, you know, so it's sweet, a little bit boozy, but just overall vanilla sweet fragrance, right? So I hope it smells better than these notes actually put out there. Yeah, and yeah, that's the list for part one. Be on the lookout for part two, just to end off the month of March. Very, very interesting. You know, I just couldn't keep up. You know, I've been a bit busy, so as they were coming out, I just couldn't, you know, keep up and actually package them into one video. I waited too long and there was too many. So yeah, but it's good, right? So a good month of fragrances. Yeah, so out of this list, definitely the two that I'll definitely get first, the Impact Parfum and the Cool Elixir, are definitely gonna be in my collection in no time, right? I would love to get myself on the Aromatix Xandal by French Avenue as well, just to support a fellow fragrance YouTuber out there who's doing quite well. So yeah, with that said, please like, subscribe. Till next time, peace.